Here's a video of her drinking her wine and him with his head in his hands. Like she was not stopping at all.
It was ludicrous.
It was amazing.
Then, he gets up.
Some of you might be disappointed to know that Alex and I did not fight on Valentine's Day.
Not once.
We didn't get into an argument at all, even though Alex didn't go to college.
You didn't either.
Okay. I went to community college for a minute, though.
Okay, so, I went to beauty school, so that's like a form of college,
but also that's like not really college.
But it's like, the thing that you can like put on the thing where it says like whatever, trade school or something. That was a trade school, I guess.
All right. Well, but it wasn't community college for
But neither was yours. Do you have a degree?
Not technically, no. Okay, well, I don't know why you had to bring that up right now, when we're starting the podcast.
At least I didn't bring it up on Valentine's Day.
Okay, well, I just hate how you disapprove of me.
Well, you disapprove of me too.
And your family disapproves of me.
And your mom hates me.
And your mom hates me.
Your dad hates me.
And your dad hates you.
And I'm not worthy because I don't have a college degree.
Well, maybe you could go get a college degree. I think you're great, though.
I think that higher education sucks.
What's up? It's the Fresh Till Death podcast. All that will make sense in just a second. Make sure you check out Fresh Till Death every single Monday on iTunes and on YouTube. Rate, review, comment, subscribe, click the notifications button, do all the button pushing that I ask you to do every week. The Fresh Till Death podcast, where we get high and do stuff, that comes out on Tuesdays only on YouTube. It's a YouTube exclusive. And the Jubal Show podcast every single Wednesday. iTunes, YouTube, rate, review, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to talk about a few things today on the podcast. One is Valentine's Day, more specifically. We had dinner and a show on Valentine's Day, and it was amazing. We saw one of the most awkward Valentine's Day dates ever. It was
the best.
Live
actually. And
in person, it was amazing. Probably one of the best Valentine's Days I've ever had. Probably the best Valentine's Day I ever had.
Yes.
And then also talk a little bit about that whole controversy with the woman that was on the American Airlines flight and the douchebag behind her punching her chair over and over again. Mm-hmm. There's some more news coming out about that. But first, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we were in Miami.
Yeah.
And we were planning on going out to dinner, obviously. So we had reservations at 6.
Yeah, except Alex can't read a clock because she didn't go to college.
Did
I point that out again?
Because I was shopping. Okay. So I was spending too much time shopping, and I was hustling though.
Yeah,
but so we had to make the reservations later for 6:30, which it was pretty much like all booked. There had been a cancellation or something. Yeah, because we looked on Open Table.
We went to Miami, and I mean, I'm a shitty planner sometimes, so I didn't plan ahead to think of a restaurant. I probably should have done that, but we still found a nice place. Yeah, it
was good.
And we're pretty chill, so it's like, we'll go find a place to eat and have Valentine's Day dinner.
So, I mean, of course, it's going to be packed. Everybody's going out. So we end up getting there at like 6:40.
Right.
So we go get sat down, and we sit down at these tables. They're really small tables, and there's like 3 right next to each other, which we'll show you video of, so you'll see in a second. But it was kind of already awkward being that close to other couples as well, so you can clearly hear everything they're talking about if you're not talking.
Yeah, it was like an inch and a half between tables. It was like they jammed so many tables into this restaurant.
Yeah.
So it was awkward because the couple that was right next to us, we ended up having a conversation with later on in the evening because you kind of like, it felt like you were all at the same table, sort of. It was so close.
We were outside though, so that was nice. Yeah. It was warm, but
it was Miami.
Yeah,
it's warm.
So, anyway. Yeah, it was like 80s. But anyway, so this nice couple sat down next to us, and then like 10 minutes later, this couple sat next to them.
And we had no idea that this was the show.
This was
the part.
Fun.
This was the dinner and the show part. This
so
is the show
fun.
part of the dinner. Sorry.
So we're quiet, believe it or not.
Well, except for I did kind of. Yeah. Well, I don't think you could call it yelling.
Oh no, yeah, you hollered.
I kind of yelled at a couple, but
oh my God,
that was before anything started.
Yeah.
It was really an awkward, fun Valentine's dinner all around. I guess I forgot about that part. So when we sat down, it was a nicer restaurant. And they have their Valentine's prefixed menu where it's all fucking expensive and you can only order, shit off their menu. It's just they were ready for Valentine's. All these people are dressed up nice to go out and have their Valentine's Day dates. And then there was this family at a table sitting behind Alex.
Like right behind us.
Not too far behind Alex.
Like a foot behind me.
Like a foot behind her. And they had kids.
2 shit kids.
Yes, they were shit kids. They were screaming and everything else. And then they had iPads and they were playing their. I thought there was music on in the restaurant,
like outside playing.
Yeah, but there wasn't.
There wasn't.
It was these kids' iPads. They were both playing shit super loud, like loud enough to where I thought it was literally speakers from the restaurant. And then it started playing the monkeys jumping on the bed song over and over.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so loud. I was like, you got to be kidding me. That's so incredibly rude. And the parents weren't saying anything or like turn it down at all.
Parents are so goddamn rude with their kids when they're out in public.
I cannot handle it.
Like, check your kids. We do.
Always.
We're always like, dude, turn it down. Fucking, we bring headphones sometimes. So they.
Most of the time now.
Yeah, because kids, they're assholes and they don't respect other people's space. So they're turning their shit up loud. Fine. They don't know better yet. So the parents, it's your job to be like, hey, turn that down. It's very rude. Everybody out here for their Valentine's Day dates doesn't want to hear a 7-year-old playing the No More Monkeys Jumping on a Bed song over and over and over again.
So we were just like, it was blasting basically. And I'm like turning around. The parents were not just in their own world.
Yeah, they didn't even care at all. I'm like, this is so goddamn rude.
So we're quiet people normally. Mm-hmm. So Jubal in those situations though. Doesn't remain quiet.
No, it's weird. I'm quiet all the time. I'm pretty reserved. I normally don't really like react angrily to things or get upset. But when I'm in those situations where people are just being blatantly rude in public, when other people are, because it's not even necessarily about me. I'm also thinking about the couple next to us.
Yeah, and the couple next to them.
And the couple next to them. They probably could have used the distraction. We'll talk.
Yeah, they probably didn't even hear it.
Yeah, they probably didn't even hear it, or maybe that's what set them off. But in those situations, though, I have trouble calming myself down. Well, so I said, "Excuse me, would you mind telling him to turn it down?"
You're just like, "Excuse me."
Yeah. It was pretty loud.
Can you have him turn it down?
Yeah, and it was like normal. I was just like, "Excuse me, can you have him turn it down?" And it was like normal level.
Yeah.
And then they ignored me because I know they heard me. They had to have heard me because everybody's so close. So I said it again, and then nothing. And then I don't know. How would you say I said it the last?
Excuse me. Can you please have him turn it down?
We're all trying to have our Valentine's Day dinners here, and I'm tired of hearing No More Monkeys Jumping on the Bed. Can you please have him turn it down?
Yeah.
And then the mom goes, all those parents have the same reaction when you call them out, too. It was like the reaction from the Red Robin a while back when I was like upset because this kid was yelling in my ear. The parents always kind of like, what? Oh, my God, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And she was just like, oh, I didn't hear you. Or I didn't. I'm like, how the you heard it? You're just trying to act like because you're uncomfortable because somebody called you out. Like you should be calling your kid out.
Because he hollered so loud, and I mean, like everybody's around, and like it was so weird too. Because like I get really awkward in those situations when he does that. I'm just like, oh shit, like trying to like hide my face or like turn like. Yeah. But I mean, I was just as annoyed. I just have a hard time doing stuff like that.
You were on board with me.
But I was. But so the couple next to us and next to them literally like had no reaction to Jubal, this guy who has a throat tattoo, hollering at this lady about her kids. Like they didn't even really look at him or like even skip a beat. I'm like, what the hell?
I know. It was weird because nobody reacted except for the waitress came over. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like she was like, oh fuck, this guy's about to stab them with a fork.
Yeah, or this knife that you have to cut your steak.
They did give me a steak knife. And she was probably really nervous about that.
She like apologized a couple of times, but
because they were super loud.
That was so rude.
It was really rude.
So they left actually really quickly after that.
Yeah, which was nice. And then the show started.
So I was sitting next to this lady, and then Jubal was sitting next to her husband, and then next to them was. Next to the lady that I was sitting next to was this guy, and then next to the guy that Jubal was sitting next to was this girl. And she was probably in her mid-20s, and he was probably in his early 30s, I would assume.
Mm-hmm. And it looked like, at first I thought it was like a first, or, like not a first date, but like a new dating couple. Like they looked like they were still trying to get to know each other.
Yeah, it seemed to me like they were friends.
Yeah.
Of like maybe they're family friends or something. That's what it seemed like to me based on the conversation. And she was definitely type A personality because she was very loud and very like in your face, and she was very talking about herself
she was talking about how she's just killing it at business and whatever else
how she does work, like what she does at work and how good she does it at work. And I mean, like the things that she was saying about herself were so absurd.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they were
hilarious.
They were beyond like patting yourself on the back.
It was just she was like I'm the shit. Like everything I do is amazing, and like basically that's why I thought it was like a first date. I thought she was trying to like sell him on her. Like look how look how amazing I am. And he wasn't saying a word, and she was loudly.
Oh my God, he was not saying anything like the whole time.
Yeah, he was just sitting there.
She was loud. I mean, she must be a nightmare in a relationship.
Yeah, and so, they didn't seem drunk when they sat down.
When they sat down, they were sober.
And everybody was paying attention to them because of how loud look, I shouted at those people aggressively, and nobody like broke from what they were doing. But this chick was talking so loudly about herself that even the table next to us would look over and like laugh with us. Like,
yeah, they would look at us and be like, wow,
listen to this chick.
Wow. But like, we were way more into it than they were. Like, they were older. They're like in their 40s and 50s. But
they weren't into the drama, but we were.
We were so much into the drama. I wish we were next to them, but we got a lot of video. Like, at one point, I like didn't even give a fuck anymore. I just started like recording them, and I just held it on them. Like, I would record the girl because I could see her better, and then he would record the guy because he could see him better.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
So as time went on, she had like a glass of wine and went from sober to fucking drunk like that.
So quick.
I mean, girl, handle yourself.
Yeah.
And then she had like, it was probably her second glass of wine, right? And there was a lot. And she was already starting to slur her words. And I'm like, if she drinks that whole glass of wine, that girl's going to be toast.
Oh, yeah. I thought she was I was ready for her to get up and start screaming and like breaking glasses if she drank her whole wine. I was like, this is going to be amazing. She's going to pound this whole thing of wine and just fucking freak out and flip over a table or something.
So she was getting tipsy on her way to drunk very quickly. And he was sober pretty much almost the entire time.
Yeah.
But
he wasn't saying much, by the way. She was doing all the talking.
She was. I mean, he would. I mean, I literally couldn't even hear his voice at all. I mean, he was quiet. He must have been quiet, but also like he didn't say that much because she was speaking the entire time.
Yeah, she wouldn't stop talking, and she kept talking about herself.
It was so
the whole time.
Maddening.
I wish I could remember exactly what she said because at one point before all the fireworks started happening, at one point she said something about herself that was so ridiculous that the lady that was sitting next to you looked up and looked over at me and was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, and we both went like, holy shit.
Insane.
Did she just say that about herself?
So what I like can't figure out is how people do that in public. Like, I understand if you're at a restaurant and there's not tables an inch and a half from you and, you know, talking about stuff because people can't really hear other people's conversations usually. But when you're that close and there's that many tables around you, it's so rude and embarrassing.
Well, it was obvious, though, why she was doing that once they started arguing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Because at first it was just like, man, this chick just loves herself and wants to talk about herself. She's obviously insecure about something. Right. And we didn't know what, but then we found out.
Yeah, he said something to regards that she doesn't have a college degree, that she didn't go to college.
Yeah.
And that what we found out was he's very into making sure that his future wife has a college degree because his mom and dad likes it. You know, it's
we
like
found all this out based on their argument.
We found out so much.
So it was, I think what happened was she was talking about, you know, how she's just killing it at work.
Yeah.
And how she's super successful and she's blah, blah, blah,
and
blah.
And she's like, once they do it wrong, like, you know, they're going to come back to me and be like, you know, help us, because she's so great. Yeah. And then she's like, I told you so. Like, it was just, I can't even remember all the things that she said, but it was crazy how much she was into herself.
It was absurd. So I think
speaking very loudly.
Yeah. And I think she was saying something about like how she's done this and I've done this and I've done this. And I think he made a comment of like, wow, and you did it all without a college degree.
Something like that.
Something like that.
I don't think it was positive. Whatever he said, he was probably like, well, because he clearly wants her to have a college degree.
Yeah. So or at least he wants to make his parents happy, and his parents want her to have a college degree.
So I think it was more of like a snarky comment, and we don't really know what was said, but
we do know he made a comment about college.
Yes, because she went on about college for the next 20 minutes, talking about. Well, she first started. She's like, "Well, at least I didn't hide it from you. I didn't lie to you about it, and I was upfront with you about it, like that she didn't have a college degree." And it clearly makes her very insecure that she doesn't have a college degree.
Super insecure. Like that's one thing too. Like if you are actually killing it, like she said she was killing it, and you don't have a college degree, you should actually be more proud of that. Like, fuck, I didn't need to go to college to do this.
Right.
Like that's the way I feel about anything that I've done. Is I've done it without having to go to college for it. You know.
And I mean, I don't think that people need to go to college.
No,
you don't.
I
don't care if my spouse has a degree or not. I don't care what you think about me not having a degree. I don't care.
Right.
I really don't care. But this girl,
she's just starting to get drunk now. Now she was really drunk.
And she was taking big gulps of wine.
Yeah. And he's just sitting there quiet, and she's just gulping wine and fucking giving it to him.
Oh my
the whole
God,
time.
she wouldn't shut up. Like he wasn't responding, and she would just keep going.
And
she would keep going, and she was pissed that he said that.
Something
whatever
about college. She was like, she's like, and then you had to go make a comment about college, and that I don't care about college, and like higher education is stupid anyway.
Yeah, I think higher education is stupid.
And your parents and your dad's always like looking at me and judging me about going to college.
And
she did say that the dad is always judging her about not having a college education.
I heard your mom and your dad and my mom probably 100 times from her. Throughout, she was talking about her parents and his parents the entire time, and also she was talking mad shit about her mom, talking about what a piece of shit her mom is. But her dad, his mom, like find somebody else. Find someone else who doesn't care that you don't have a college degree.
Yeah, like she obviously felt so insecure about not having a college degree that she feels like everybody's judging her, even her own parents. But the whole time she wasn't even really talking about him. She was just like, your fucking family judges me for not having a college degree and blah, 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 blah. And my mom's a fucking piece of shit and my dad's a piece of shit,
and
too.
And then she said something and he said...
Oh, yeah, she said so. It got quiet for a minute. And it was so awkward because Alex and I are filming them from the other table and they don't even notice that we're filming them. And we were like blatantly filming them at this point.
They didn't even look over once.
No.
They were so... I figured I would get caught at one point because I was filming a lot, and they didn't look over once.
I was waiting for them to be like pissed off or something that we were filming, or just leave.
It was clearly obvious that we were paying a lot of attention to these people.
Yeah. So it gets quiet. He's sitting there and like he's kind of turned to the side, looking away from her, and she's just sitting there staring at him, chugging wine every once in a while. And it was quiet for like a minute. It might have been less than a minute. It might have been 20 seconds, but it was one of those moments where it feels like it was like 5 minutes and they're just sitting there. And then she says something and then he looks over and he's like, what the fuck did you just say to me? And then she was like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I just started laying into him again. It was amazing. I'll show the video now. So if you're on iTunes, you won't be able to see it, but go over to the YouTube. Here's the video of her drinking her wine and him with his head in his hands. Mm-hmm. Like she was not stopping at all.
It was ludicrous.
It was amazing.
Then, he gets up after a while. He gets up, he grabs his phone. It looks like he's leaving. Mm-hmm. It doesn't look like he's going to the bathroom to me, but he may have been. So he gets up and leaves, and she stays at the table and she just like sits back and she's just drinking her wine.
Chugging her wine.
And then she gets up.
Yeah.
And then she gets up and she leaves and they leave. I'm like, damn, like that was so much fun.
It was amazing. I know. So and then we started talking about it with the couple next to us. They were like,
and yeah, we started talking to them. Like we were talking to them for about like 10, 15 minutes maybe. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they come back.
They were back.
They came back together.
I know.
But they didn't look happy still.
No, they were still pissed off.
And at this point, like we already paid because the show was over. We would have stayed the whole time until they left probably.
I know. We had already eaten dessert and paid, and I was like, fuck, I want to stay here longer now. I want to watch the rest of the date.
You called the Uber. That's right. He called the
If
Uber.
I wouldn't have called the Uber, we probably would have stayed.
That's right. You could have canceled it though.
I should have, but I didn't have a college
education,
so I couldn't figure out how.
Yeah, he probably. So they came back. Who knows how it went after that? But
he did break his glass.
Remember? Yeah. So then so towards the end of the conversation, he started drinking, right?
Yeah.
So he started drinking the wine. They had a whole bottle, and then when they came back and sat down, we were there for like a couple more minutes. And these people kept on trying to talk to us next to us. And we're like, shut up. I'm trying to hear their conversation. Like they wouldn't stop talking.
The people next to us were nice. We're like, fuck, they're back. Stop. The show's started. Are you going to talk during shows?
They didn't care though. Like they didn't care as much as we did.
I was so invested in this couple that was arguing. I wanted to be like, shh, you guys.
They could tell.
I know.
They could tell we're trying, But anyway. So then he was drinking his wine and he went to like go set it down on the table and he like hits the glass on another glass and totally breaks the wine glass in half, like on the thing where the stem. It broke in half. So he was like holding the wine glass and then the stem was just like on the table and he was just like, it was amazing. Like holding in his hand, and then he just like drinks the rest of the wine and just like sets the glass on the table.
It was so
next to the stem.
Funny.
It was so funny. I'm like, where the fuck was the camera when that happened? We should have got a picture of it. But
I know.
I'm like, of course.
It was the most amazing Valentine's experience ever. Especially when he broke the glass and they came back. I just heard. I thought she broke a glass like at him. Like I thought she threw her glass or something. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, it's gonna get even better. And it was just. I look over and it's just him holding the glass that's broken and looking at her like, fuck my life.
Yeah. But he looked miserable, and he looked
he
like
did.
someone who doesn't want to work things out.
No, he looked over it. We almost were going to leave and go. I was like, we should pay for their meal. And then I'll walk by the table at the end and be like, you guys should break up. We were going to do that.
Or be like, you should leave this bitch.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, both of them suck because
You could
his
tell.
body the whole time was facing basically away from her, away from us.
Yeah.
So his back was turned towards us pretty much the entire time. Like, that's fucked up.
He's over it. He doesn't want to be in that relationship anymore. And then she doesn't want to be. I don't think she likes the relationship with herself, honestly.
No,
she's not ready to be in a relationship.
She's got issues, but she definitely seems like a nightmare. I mean, I would feel bad for anybody who was with her.
She was definitely a nightmare. Like the overcompensating and then the arguing.
But
and
on
then
Valentine's Day, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. The gulps of wine, though, I got her drinking several times, and I got her crying. Like, but she's such like an alpha, right? Why are you crying?
Exactly. Like you're fucking killing it.
You're the fucking best.
You're like Beyonce. You don't need
You're
goddamn
like a
man.
boss bitch.
You know what? Any boss bitch in that situation would have been like, I'm fucking leaving. I'm paying for this dinner anyway because you're a fucking deadbeat.
You know what? You can fucking go.
And
I got this. You know what?
leaving.
I'm gonna eat your dessert while I'm at it.
I'm gonna
I'm
call
a
up
boss bitch.
I'm gonna call up a couple of my gal friends. We're gonna have Valentine's Day while we fucking drink this wine and go out and party, bitch. I don't need you.
And talk about shit about you.
But instead, she was crying, being like,
Right.
"Your dad doesn't like me, and your mom doesn't like me, and
But
I don't
you're
like
boss
me."
bitch.
Apparently, she's not. Apparently
After one glass of wine.
you're not a boss bitch anymore.
No.
She's an administrative assistant bitch right after that.
Exactly.
So that was our fun Valentine's Day dinner and a show. It was amazing. Like I said, if you're listening to this on iTunes, go check out the YouTube, youtube.com/Jubal Fresh, just to see the videos of them that we have. Like, it was fucking hilarious. And I wanted to listen to the videos and see if we could hear what they were talking about again, because you can kind of hear them. So maybe we'll go back and do that later. But from that on to other people just being assholes. We haven't talked about this yet because it happened after we had already done last week's Fresh Till Death podcast. But the thing that went crazy viral last week of the woman getting her airline seat punched by the guy behind her because she reclined the seat. Mm-hmm. Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even believe that there's like a debate on the internet about it.
Right. So he was in the last row, so he couldn't recline his seat, but the person in front of him reclined her seat.
Yeah. And apparently she reclined her seat and then he got upset because she reclined her seat. So he started like punching the back of her seat.
Yep.
A bunch.
He just had his earphones in. He was watching something. He was just like boom, 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 like over, like for a long time.
Over and over and over. And so she filmed it, and then it went viral, and it started a debate on, is it cool to recline your seat on an airplane? Most people, I think, were like, yeah, this guy's a douchebag. But there were actually people that were like sticking up for the guy, being like, no, you shouldn't recline your seat if someone else can't. Fuck that. Like, don't make the seats recline then at all.
Yeah.
You know? But I didn't know this because I just saw the video and the story. But the flight attendant actually took the guy's side on the whole thing.
That's crazy.
And threatened to give her a, it's called, what is it called? It's called a passenger disturbance complaint.
Wow.
Yeah, a passenger disturbance notice. She was actually given a passenger disturbance notice. For reclining her seat, she was given a passenger disturbance notice.
What?
Which, like, if they do it a bunch, you can get arrested and federally charged with
that is crazy.
A crime for being on an airline.
That flight attendant, she's just mad herself.
Yeah,
you know?
she is. Flight attendants are fucking assholes
are.
too. Like, she was probably good for her. She should be. She asked for the whole can of soda.
Yep.
I hope she fucking gets her seat punched.
They are assholes.
They are. They're just such dicks. I mean, I get it, kind of.
Well,
like,
I don't.
You shouldn't
don't have that job.
Well, you shouldn't.
Customer facing.
Yeah, you shouldn't have the job. I get why they're angry though, but also suck it up. That's your job.
Yeah.
But if I had to deal with people on planes every day, oh my god, I would want to fucking hit somebody too.
But they choose to be that.
I know.
So.
Yeah, I mean, you have to but they are such dicks.
They
Anyway,
are.
the flight attendant has been fired now.
Good.
And which is good. Yeah, I mean, even if the flight attendant, I'm having trouble even thinking how the flight attendant could take that person's side.
Yeah.
But if the flight attendant felt like that woman shouldn't have reclined her seat for whatever reason, how in the world do you stick up for the guy punching the back of the seat? No matter what, that's out of line.
And then give her the thing.
Yeah.
That makes
she's
no
not
sense.
punching the guy's
That's
seat.
why the flight attendant is a mad woman, mad
Yeah.
old woman. You know, she just doesn't. She just
And that's why she's fired now.
yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
She should be, because I guarantee you she's a nightmare on planes too. But I just don't understand it. That's how angry people are in the world. Like the fact that like reclining a chair when it doesn't really get into your space that much.
Oh yeah, and then the Delta CEO said that you should ask permission to recline your seat to the person behind you.
Yeah, this was bullshit too. Delta, so the American Airlines CEOs and stuff like that, they haven't really commented on it much more than to say that like they're looking into it. And this woman now wants to sue American Airlines and the guy because she's probably kind of overreacting a little bit. Maybe not.
I don't
Though.
care.
Fuck him, he deserves it.
Yeah, fuck, he does deserve it.
Like he deserved to get his ass kicked. Honestly, like I wish she would have done that to someone else who would have turned around and beat the fuck out of him because fuck you, man. Like that's somebody who's never been punched in the face before.
Yeah,
that's somebody who's never had.
He deserves it.
He does. So anyway, she wants to sue him because she said like she's had back surgery and stuff like that, and like the constant knocking on it was messing up her back. Maybe true.
Good.
And then she wants to sue American Airlines for defamation of character because the flight attendant took the other guy's side.
When the lady didn't do anything.
She didn't do anything but recline her seat.
Which I don't recline my seat every time, but sometimes I do, and I don't ask permission. Nobody asks me to recline their seat. Nobody knows to freaking ask the person behind you.
No.
You just recline your seat because it's an option on the seat.
Yeah. The Delta CEO chimed in and was like, everybody should be able to recline their seat, but you should also ask for permission. I'm not going to ask for permission to recline my seat. If my seat reclines, then I would assume that the goddamn airline has done the math to figure out how far a seat can recline without making somebody else comfortable. That's not my responsibility.
Exactly.
That's the airline's responsibility.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would know to ask the person behind them. Honestly, it's not like a thing that people know when they're flying, you know?
Never had anybody.
I've never heard that.
I've never had anybody ask me. I have had, that like those little things that you can buy that'll lock the seat in place. Do you know they have that?
No.
They have a device that people can buy that you can put on an airline seat, the one in front of you, to make it so that you can't recline it. I've sat in a seat before where someone had done that and it fucking pissed me off. But I'm like, okay, they got me. Like I'm not gonna get in an argument and be like, take it off. I'm just like, goddamn, because I don't recline my seat that much.
That's fucked up though.
It is. But I don't recline my seat that much because I'm normally fine sitting, however. But I was just like trying to recline it. I'm like, oh, it was right after the news stories came out of people buying those things. I was like, this motherfucker put one of those things on there. Never heard about it. Yeah, you can literally put something on the seat so it doesn't recline. But nobody's gonna. Why should it be on the customer to have to ask to recline a seat? And it's not even that bad. I don't care how tall you are. I've gone on flights with my friend who's like 6'7" right? And he's a big dude, and he's been on Brian, and he's been uncomfortable the whole time. But he knows that he's that big. Like it's not everybody else's fault that you're that big.
Yeah.
He just takes Tylenol because his knees hurt, and then people recline into him. Like this dude had plenty of room because he was like hunched over too. If you're saying you don't have room because the seats reclined, you're like his shoulders were hunched over all the way. You still have room
he was hunched over and he was just punching the seat. Like
you have room to hunch forward.
Yeah.
So then you could actually sit back in your chair and not be a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he was an asshole.
He was. So hopefully he gets sued. And he has to pay some sort of restitution to her because he's a dick.
Yeah.
And then anybody else who was commenting like in support of this guy, you're a dick too.
Yep.
I think that's what I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, comment. Let us know.
How was your Valentine's Day? And have you ever fought with your spouse on Valentine's Day?
We haven't yet.
I
hope we don't.
I don't hope. Yeah.
I hope we don't. And if we do, I hope it's like at a restaurant where other people can watch it because that was entertaining.
Oh yeah, somebody asked me because I posted on my story if we were on like a hidden TV show because it was that absurd.
Oh yeah, it was. It was crazy. Like that when after we were posting the video of that couple fighting, I was like, I wonder if there's like a hidden camera show, but it wasn't. They didn't go crazy enough for it to be a hidden camera show. And also, nobody on the planet can act that well. Like, you could take the best actor in the world, they would not be able to act like those people were. They were fucking, that was real.
It was.
And it was hilarious. And I wish we could have got more video.
Yeah, or stayed.
Yeah, or just stayed and watched the rest of the show. Never leave a show early.
Yeah.
That's what we learned. Never leave a show early. All right, that was the Fresh Till Death podcast. Make sure you check out Fresh Till Death every single Monday, iTunes, YouTube. Do you know it?
Rate and review and comment, subscribe.
Yeah. The Fresh Till Death podcast, which is only on YouTube on Tuesdays. And then the Jubal Show podcast on Wednesdays.
Yeah, make sure to tune in tomorrow. It's going to be a zinger. That's a That's a hint.
That is a hint. It's going to be a wingdinger.
It's
Hey.
going to be a dick zinger. Don't give it away that much.
Sorry. Okay. Tune in tomorrow on YouTube for the Fresh to Death podcast. It's going to be a
zinger.
humzinger.
It's going to be a wing zinger.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye.
Bye.